Hey you guys, I'm Steven.
I'm Giselle.
And we're Lover's Passport. We are out here at Anza Borrego State Park.
We are out here at Vista Del Malpais this morning, and it was absolutely beautiful for sunrise. It's just a gorgeous view of the Badlands out here. It's one of the two viewpoints out here where you can actually really get a good look at all the Badlands.
It's about 30 minutes off the main highway. Anza Borrego is down in Southern California. So if you guys are in the San Diego area or the LA area, it's a pretty quick drive. For us, it was about 4 hours, so it's about going the same to the Eastern Sierra, but we're excited to check out some slot canyons and the Badlands. So far, first interpretations, it reminds us a lot of like Utah landscapes.
Utah landscapes and like Death Valley, kind of. So if you are into that kind of scene, then this park will definitely be a hit for you.
So two things right off the bat. One thing is you want to make sure you bring a 4x4 vehicle. There was quite a few little dips and turns, so if you guys do not have a 4x4 vehicle, maybe look at renting one, but we would highly recommend it for the park.
The other thing is too that dogs are allowed in the state park, however, they're not allowed on trails. So just take that as you would if you are traveling with a furry little companion.
So we just finished driving over to the visitor center. We wanted to grab a map, and it was the least helpful visitor center I've ever seen in my entire life.
We asked questions about like what they recommend doing, anything on the map.
And we were like, yeah, we're planning on doing the slot canyon, this wind cave, the mud caves. And she's like, how'd you hear about that? I was like,
we researched it? Like, I don't know what.
If you do come to the visitor center, we would just recommend grabbing the map. Very unhelpful, but should be a fun little day. It is very crowded now. There are tons and tons of Jeeps everywhere. We've had to see like 50 already in the past hour.
Anyways, there is permit areas, and the visitor center is one of them where you have to pay a little permit fee. But if you get one here and then you go to a permit area later, or like the slot canyon, you have to pay a permit. It will cover you for both areas for the same day. So that's something to know. And then in terms of the off-roading, stay on the roads. That's just what they like to remind us, even though we didn't even mention like we're gonna do that. So
all right, off we go.
now we have arrived at the mud caves out here. This is the most popular location that I found when I was researching in the California hiking and backpacking group. And so we're just gonna go putz around.
So we went in about 30 minutes, and then you go through the caves probably for about 300-400 yards, and then after that you just get to a wash. But as soon as you walk and you don't see caves for about 5 minutes, there's like a cool little slot canyon that takes you around, but if you just want to see the caves, we just recommend going in about 400 yards. We are in line now for the slot, which is a little slot canyon, and there's like people here taking $10 to go in. There's like 15 people ahead of us. So if you guys do get here, I highly recommend doing it earlier. It looks like it does get pretty busy and it is highly regulated. It's about $10, I think, per day.
And I think, well, the $10 goes to any of the day use fee areas out here, but I think it's just because of COVID that they're regulating it. I'm not sure what it was like beforehand. standing in the middle of the Slot Canyon. It is literally called the Slot. It's the most popular hike when you look up Anza Borrego State Park, and so we had to check it out. And since our last trip to Zebra Canyon in Utah, that was probably the last like legitimate slot canyon, this is probably the next best one. It's pretty narrow. Steven was having a little bit of a hard time with his huge biceps over there. Had to take off his backpack for a second. So yeah, super fun hike. It's really short. It's probably about a mile round trip, so great for all levels. Here we go.
Alright, we made it up here to Fonts Point.
It's beautiful.
It's a gorgeous view. We're not sure if it's a sunrise or a sunset spot yet, so we'll let you know in a little bit, but pretty excited. It has this insane little drop down. There's some cool S's, and
it looks a lot like where we were this morning for sunrise, but like the opposite side.
Yeah, so we're really excited. The Milky Way is supposed to pop out, so we're hoping to get some cool starry night shots, but yeah, gonna be a perfect end of the day.
It's nap time.
G on the Sutera pillow.
I'm so tired. But this thing is so cozy. I'm gonna like knock out in like a minute.
Good morning, you guys. We just finished shooting up sunrise. This place is insane. We highly recommend checking out Fonts Point. A lot of people said that sunset here is better, but sunrise is, as Giselle would say, chef's kiss. That was definitely the better spot in our opinion. We got up here at like 3 a.m. so we got a little bit of sleep, but we got really good sleep last night because of our Sutera pillow. If you guys haven't heard of Sutera, this video is actually sponsored by Sutera. We are really enjoying this pillow. I've never ever seen a design like this. The pillow is really interesting. It has a bunch of different ways you can lay on it. So you can lay on it here where it inclines a little bit. You can flip it, and this way you can have something to like grab onto, so it fits with your arm if you're a side sleeper or not. But we highly recommend checking out the Sutera pillow. We used it all last night, even though we only got 6 hours of sleep. This makes our little road trip setup so much easier. It's amazing the difference that like a good night's sleep can rest. We used to just stuff our jackets inside like an old pillowcase. This is a serious upgrade, and we can't wait to bring on more adventures. Thank you again, Sutera.
So after we shoot sunrise, we normally set up camp to make breakfast. Today we had bagels and mini muffins and some coffee. And so this is where we're charging our Jackery solar panels. This is super nice. We just got these, and this is our first time testing them out. And they perform so well. Our Jackery power generator is at like 95%, and we've been using it all day today and yesterday. So that's really dope. That's how we've been charging our phones, our laptops, and everything else. Then we got our Rover cooler. You guys have seen this before. A+ cooler on wheels. Then we got our click chairs, our little portable ones that fold down to the size of a water bottle. Our rinse kit, because we got a little dirty hiking through the slot canyons yesterday. And then we have our 5-gallon water jug. And then we have like all of our food and whatnot here, as well as our air mattress. And then we made some friends too, so they have their camp set up over here.
Alright, you guys, we are just finishing up our little Anza Borrego adventure.
So we hit yesterday the Vista Del Malpais. We did the mud caves, we did the slot canyon, and then we came here to Fonts Point, and those are definitely all can't miss locations.
They're all gorgeous. For a state park, this place has a lot to offer. Like for instance, if you go to like Montaña de Oro, there's like 1 or 2 cool spots. You go to Valley of Fire out in Nevada, there's like 1 to 2 really cool spots, but I feel like every spot here was very unique. Almost on a national park level in my opinion, comparatively to like Pinnacles National Park, where this place was really neat.
The other things that we didn't get the chance to do that we've still heard good things about are the wind caves, and then there's also some other slot canyon hikes besides the slot, like the calcite mine hike. So if you have extra time, feel free to check those out as well.
Best time to go, we would say, is mid-March to April. On a good year when there's a lot of rain, the wildflowers here go nuts, is what we heard. We did not get any rain this year, so there's no wildflowers right now, but we are here on March 7th, and weather's been really nice. It was a little warm, got up to like 75 yesterday.
But the wind was nice.
Yeah, it was perfect weather. If you come during the summer, it does get up into the hundreds. If you come during the winter, it should be nice, but depending on the weather, could also be cold. So highly recommend coming between mid-March and April.
If you're going to visit this park, try and come with a vehicle that has 4x4 or all-wheel drive or high clearance, because depending on what you're going to want to do, you're going to need some sort of off-roading vehicle. Like the road up to Fonts Point is quite sandy, so I don't think we didn't see any two-wheel drive cars coming up here. So if that's the case and you do have a two-wheel drive car, we do recommend parking on the road and hiking in. It's like a 4-mile hike in and out, so like 8 total, but
we saw some people doing it, so it's totally doable. Yeah, so coming up to Fonts Point, I think you definitely want a 4x4. We only have a 4Runner SR5, so it's a base model. We didn't have to air down our tires at all, but you do not want to stop if you guys are driving up here. We did see some people that were trying to brake on the road when they got to a hard part. That's how you get stuck. I think I threw it into 4-wheel drive one time the entire time we drove up, so it wasn't bad at all. Totally doable. Just make sure you keep your foot on the gas, take it nice and slow, and yeah.
And just use your best judgment. And come prepared, it does happen. So don't think it won't happen to you.
All the off-roading trails out here seemed a little bit sandy, but nothing too bad. If you go off on the sides, like if you go on the
far right or the far left side.
Yeah, if you go off to the far edges, there's definitely a little bit deeper sand, so I would try and veer away from that and stay on the main road if you guys can. But the other nice thing about the park is you can camp anywhere. So that was probably one of our favorite parts. We could just drive down the road a little bit because you can't camp up at Fonts Point proper, and then when we camped over at Vista Del Malpais, we could just camp directly there. So that is a really cool feature of the park.
Yeah, you can just camp I think it's 1 car length off the road, so that way you don't damage wildlife. But it's super nice because we didn't really have to worry about, where are we gonna sleep, all that kind of stuff.
Totally.
So definitely recommend checking out Anza Borrego State Park. We had a great time here. You really only need 1 to 2 days to see the whole park highlights, and if you're really into off-roading, you can definitely spend some more time out here. But yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe and notification bell. And yeah.
We'll see you guys in the next adventure.